Welcome to Rack of the Week 279. We're going to play Nineball again this week. I know, shocker. Don't worry. Next week, we're going back to straight pool, and then I'll alternate for a couple of weeks in August, heading into the Nineball tournaments at the second half of August. Check out my website. I've been working on some articles. There's a page called Plog. It's my blog having to do with pool blog. It's a plog. And so check out the articles there. Most of them are kind of text-based versions of YouTube videos that I've already done, some from a few years ago, some from more recently, and that's a knowledge base that I'm going to be building up. Free pool lessons on the Short Stuff on Pool website. On the screen, as usual, you see my names of YouTube and Patreon supporters. Thank you for your support. Let's get into this. There's actually going to be a rack of Nineball where we're going to talk about percentages, and then a bonus rack of Nineball after that. Let's get into the racks. There we go. Oh, I thought I had the one on the side. Cue ball, fairly good control of the cue ball, but I know I got a good hit because I don't have two balls in the rack area. If the 9 ball's sitting there and all the other balls are gone, that's a good hit. That's a good clean hit to get good ball separation. This is a tough run out though. Now obviously I don't have a shot if I'm playing in a match, but I'm taking ball in hand. I'm playing the ghost, ball in hand ghost. But this is an issue. I don't have a pocket. Yeah, I don't have a pocket. I literally have to break the 3 ball out somehow from the 2 ball. Wow. So one possible way is to get an angle on the 2 to go side rail, and hit. You'd like to hit the 5, because you hit the 5, you're very likely to get a shot on the 2. If you hit the 3, you can still get a shot, but you can also get hooked behind the 5. And it's really hard to judge the cue ball on that long distance. The other way to go would be to get an angle on the 2 and go 1 rail, past the 6, and come up and hit the 5. If you split the balls, you're not going to get a shot because you're just going to drive the 3 to the rail, and the cue ball is going to be stuck here. You have to hit the 5. And not on the bottom, you have to hit it on the top. So that's probably a harder way to go. That's really the only thing to do. You've got to shoot the 2 ball here. So I guess I'm going to try the side-by-side. Z shot. And the nice thing about this shot is if you're playing in a match, you're very likely to be able to play it safe if you don't get it. And it's very low chance of scratching. So I think it's the highest percentage way to go. So I just want to make sure, I kind of want this angle. You want a little bit more angle than less, so you can do something with the cue ball. So I'll go ahead and go off this rail and out to get that angle. Yeah, so you'd rather have more angle than not enough. If you have not enough, you really got to jam it. But if you have a lot of angle, now you don't have to hit it so hard, and you can really try and play it right. It's going to pick up some contact and do spin. I'm probably going to use a little bit of left. Yeah, and the nice thing about that is the left, it's coming in at a sharp enough angle. It's not going to shorten. The left English isn't going to shorten it. It'll still come down long. And if I can hit right in here, I think I'm going to split those balls. Give it a try. And not quite. So, Ghost wins again, most likely. The nice thing about trying that shot is now I can play safe. The safety here is to simply draw the cue ball to the bottom rail and up behind the 5. You don't try and send the 3 ball long distance. Just bank the 3 ball softly out to center table. In fact, if you're going to play this safety, you do not want the 3 ball near this rail because it makes it a big ball. It's a bigger ball. You can kick it from a much wider variety of angles. But if you leave the 3 ball out in the middle, that's the smallest ball that it can be. Now, I'm playing the ghost, so I'm trying to run out. So I've got to try and bank the 3 ball in the side And honestly, yeah, I mean, the cue ball is going to run this way anyway. So I'll have a shot on the 4 because it's so close to the pocket. So I can really bear down and try and bank this 3, but this is probably like a 50% shot at best. Okay. Ha! All right. I wanted to mention it, but I got down on the shot. You want to hit that shot hard enough to go 2 rails. Because sometimes you want to stiff it anyway. You want to hit it short off this rail, but sometimes you hit it too short and you can get lucky and make it 2 rails. I only say that on shots that are low percentage bank shots. If the 3 ball's here and the cue ball's here, then you don't do that because you're just going to bank it straight in. You don't think I'm going to hit it bad enough to go 2 rails. But over here you could. Now I got really lucky to carry him off the 8 and make it. But that tells me I was pretty close. But the thing is this, 9-ball is a game of luck. So when you are on the receiving end of some good luck, as opposed to some bad luck, we all like to complain about the bad luck, don't we? But then we kind of gloss it over when we get good luck. You got to realize those 2 things are going to balance out over time. So when you get good luck, roll with it. Don't complain. You can hold up your hand and apologize a little, but that's all you need to apologize because it's a lucky game by definition. So don't worry about it. Okay. So now that I've gotten some luck, boy, would I like to run out and not mess this up. Realize that you have 3 up-down transitions, end-to-end transitions. 4 to the 5, that's 1. 5 to the 6, that's 2. 6 to the 8, that's 3. This needs your full attention. 3 end-to-end transitions in a row. Okay. So shooting the 5, you've got to look at this. I can pocket the 5 ball easily in this window, anywhere in this window, and that's both angles. Frankly, I don't care. Because the 6 is so close to the pocket, I'm going to get there. And once I have position on the 5, then I'll figure out how I'm going to move the cue ball from the 6 to the 8. But until I get on the 5, it doesn't matter. So just know that that's there. Now that's if I play this window. I don't have to, because you could try and float the cue ball down this way, hit it too soft, and the cue ball stops here behind the 9, or hit it too hard and the cue ball stops here behind the 8. Right? What if you pocket the 5 ball here? Now you have 2 choices. Low left, miss the 6, cross table, short side position on the 5. Or just chop this with right English and come straight down table, short position on the 5. Now, you're nervous. You're playing a tough opponent. It's hill. What are you going to choose? If I'm at home just playing the ghost, I just cut this in and float down here. No big deal. I don't think twice about it. But now you're in a tournament. Your opponent's watching you. Maybe there's a referee standing there. Are you going to make the same decision? Is that the right decision to make? You need to think about that when you're playing the ghost. How will you play this under pressure? Because when we're under pressure, we're always going to look to the easiest shot to execute. And in my opinion, and especially learn this from straight pool, that's what you want to choose. Yeah, I can shoot this and get the cue ball to hit this rail and come down here with the perfect angle, a good percentage of the time. What percentage of the time am I going to cut the 4 in and come this direction and get a good shot on the 5? At least 5% more often than going this way. Maybe 10% more often. Now there's dangers going this way because we've all shot this shot and the cue ball comes down here and it looks perfect and it hits the point and goes boink and comes over here. We've all done it. It happens. You're sending a cue ball straight towards the scratch in the corner pocket. That's not good. And you might say to yourself, oh, I'm going to hit the rail above the side pocket. Okay, you hit the rail, you mishit it a little bit, and you hit the rail here instead of here, and then your cue ball stops here instead of here. And it's a huge difference. So I'm not saying that one is perfect and the other one's terrible. They're close. You need to evaluate which one you feel better at in the moment. The speed control coming down this way is a little bit tricky too, because you can be too nervous about scratching and hit it and the cue ball stops here. The thing that I like about coming this way is you're almost never going to get hooked. But some percentage of the time coming this way, you're going to get hooked behind the 9 or the 8, even though this is a really huge window. All right, all that talk, which way do I want to go? I want to go the way that is simplest to move the cue ball. And I think if I shoot this without any spin, I can come down here and avoid this point. In fact, I'm not going to hit 2 rails. I'm just going to hit 1. I'm just going to go past the side pocket. So, and there it is. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? That's that line in Goodfellas. What did I tell you? Don't buy anything big. What did I tell you?
I'm sorry. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? What did I tell you? You don't buy anything, you hear me? Don't buy anything.
All right. I called it. That's the danger with going that way. Now I have a bank shot in this corner or a cut shot. Again, it's personal preference, but I'm going for the cut shot. Now again, the point of this side pocket and the scratch are in play. So I really want to hit the rail here. And I don't want to come near the scratch. I'm not trying to turn the cue ball. So you don't have to don't use a lot of outside spin. You can turn it into that corner and scratch. Just cut it cleanly. 1 rail, 2 rails, 3 rails, and probably 4 rails. I'm not too concerned with the angle on the 6 because this is a tough shot. I want to make sure I make the 5. So notice I haven't got down on the shot yet. This is the key to this type of shot. Take a look at your angle while you're standing here and visualize it. See the cue ball. Take the path that you want. You don't have to think about where you need to see it because that informs your subconscious pool playing computer brain that you've trained for hours and hours. What do I want? You're seeing, oh, that's what I want. Oh, okay. It's a very informal communication. You don't have to think about exactly where to cue that because your subconscious knows where once you tell it. So now I can see the contact point on the 5, I can see the aim point, and I see the path I want to take. So now you just make sure head, grip, shoulder are lined up, and then come down into the shot and execute. Well, that's how you take on a shot like that. Now I'm really straight on this. What I'd love to do is draw back here and out, but I can get hooked behind the 9. I'd rather have a thin shot on the 8 than be hooked behind the 9. So I'm going to go forward with left spin. I'm going to come out of the corner because think about if you're going forward, how hard do you have to hit it for the cue ball to come all the way down here and hook yourself behind the 9? You got to hit it pretty hard. So all I'm thinking about here is we're end-to-end transition. So I'm following 2 rails to here, and if I hit it a little bit farther, good. So this is what you're thinking about when you're down on this ball. You're thinking about crossing this line just a little bit. That way, if you mishit it and hit it too hard, you'll probably still stop here. And if you don't hit it hard enough, you'll stop here, but not way up here. This is your dividing line you want to balance on. So it looks like, wow, that guy's speed control is so good. No, I didn't know where the cue ball was going to stop. I knew that sometime, somewhere just short of this or just long of this was going to be good. My cue ball could have stopped here and I'm still going to get out. You're playing you're picking a point that's midpoint of the variance in your speed. This one's obvious, 2 rails. You could even go like this and say the 9-ball is across from this diamond. So if my cue ball hits this diamond and then comes off the rail, I got my shot. Angle in, angle out. See that? So you're not playing to here, because then your cue ball is going to come off this rail and you're going to be up here. So pick your point on the rail that you want to come off from. And you can do this with left spin or hitting the cue ball, judging how far you're going to hit the cue ball below center without any side spin. Personal preference. Frankly, the players today with tighter pockets, they're not going to use as much left spin. They're going to adjust their Q-tip height rather than the side spin. But right now I'm thinking about center diamond on that rail. That's what I'm thinking about. So I hit it not where I wanted, but it's within the margin of error that results in a very good shot. Well, I'm going to take ball in hand. I mean, that's a hell of a break to make 3 balls on the break. And then have this, because you got to shoot this ball into the side with force follow, and I've got about 2.5 inches to bridge. So, I mean, it's possible to get the cue ball down there. I should shoot it. I've got a very slight cut to the left. Well, actually, I don't. I'm like almost dead straight in. So if I can make this ball, the cue ball is going to hit the rail right above the pocket, and then hopefully I can get enough stroke on it to get all the way down table. It's hard because there's a very short distance. So you've got to stop your Q-tip from going through the ball very far. But you need a lot of tip speed, so I'm going to try and have kind of a longish. I can't have too long of a bridge. I'm going to try to have a little bit longer than normal grip position, so I can get a lot of speed but still stop the cue ball. If I don't accomplish this, I'm going to put the 2-ball back and take ball in hand and show you how to run out from there. Now, everybody's going to run out from there. I'll tell you what. I've got 4.5-inch corner pockets, probably 4 3/4 sides. Can you imagine trying to do that into a 4 1/4-inch side pocket like the tight W? It's not even viable. You can't even try it. It'll never go. You might make it out like 1 out of 10, but getting the cue ball down there also. So here's the thing. I just want to look at this real quick. Yeah. See, the other shot is to go into the corner, but then you've got to send the cue ball forward, and there's all the traffic. So, I mean, maybe you can get the cue ball there. Probably not. It's another trick shot. You got to play safe is all you can do. Yeah. It's so hard. Well, if I cut it thinner, my cue ball is going to come a little wider. I might get it down there. Oop. Obviously, it's very easy to undercut that ball when you're so close to it, which is what I did. My 2-ball went like here. But I just want to try it again because I think if I can cut it enough, then the cue ball is going to come farther. I'm putting a lot of right English, so the contact-induced spin along with the right English makes it really hard to judge because everything's pushing the 2-ball that way, and I'm trying to cut it thin enough to get it in the pocket. So this is almost a trick shot. Yeah, scratching the side. So, yeah, going to be real hard to get the cue ball down there on the 3. I mean, it's doable, but obviously the correct shot here is to play safe. So the question is, how are you going to play safe from here? Let's take a look at it. You want to look at where the cue ball goes naturally. If I go off the right side of the cue ball, of the 2, I'm just heading for a scratch or hitting one of these balls. I mean, you could push out as well, but I think you have an opportunity to play safe. Okay, I see the safety now. What you want to do is shoot the cue ball into this rail so it goes down by the 5. Yeah, actually, well, what I want to do is get the cue ball over here. So I'd love to get the cue ball right here below the 6, behind the 6. But in order to do that, I've got to cut the 2 ball to here. So I don't know if it's going to get down there low enough. And I don't want to bank it out in front of the pocket and my cue ball slides out in front of the 6 and I sell it a shot right there. So I think instead of trying to slide the cue ball this way, it's better to go ahead and draw the cue ball. Just draw it over here. And I can put left spin on the cue ball to try and get the 2 ball to go longer. And I just want to hit it hard enough to get it down to that bottom rail. And don't peek out. There we go. So by trying to not do too much, it came out okay. I would rather that the 2 ball came off the bottom rail and hit the 5, so it's not kind of out in front of the pocket. But I knew I was going to be behind the 6 at the very worst. So that's a good example of what to do to play safe there. Usually you want to choose one ball. Either play the 2 ball with a lot of accuracy or play the cue ball with a lot of accuracy. If you try and do both, you usually get neither. So you choose one. So in this example, I chose the 2 and just did something very, very, very simple with the cue ball. Okay. Now, this was back here, I think. So if I have ball in hand, how do I want to run out from here? Obviously, we'd love to get our cue ball to land right here, but there's traffic in the way. We can end up on top of the, right here, on top of the 5, behind the 5. So we got to think about how is the cue ball going to get there. And then also, what about short side? I think a really good choice is to do this and just draw your cue ball down to the first diamond. If you shoot this shot 100 times, how many times are you going to get hooked behind another ball? 0. If you shoot this shot and try and go side rail over here and down there somehow, how many times are you going to get hooked behind a ball? A non-insignificant percentage. 5%, 3%. It's not going to be 0. So don't overlook short side position. We do it all the time in straight pool, and it's the correct shot in 9-ball. Now, you might say, oh, okay, let's go ahead and shoot it. Well, wait a minute. Put the cue ball here and look at it. Okay. Now what do I do? Side rail across. Is that going to be easier to get the cue ball here? How many times shooting this route am I going to get hooked behind another ball? 0. Which route is higher percentage. Going this way, I have a chance of overdoing it and hitting the 6. If I miss the 6, and I can even come over here and look, what is the line to the corner pocket? It's right here. So if I shoot this ball to here, I'm not going to scratch, and I'm going to get short side, and I won't hit the 6. So shooting the cue ball from here, you got to get the speed right. You could end up here and have no shot. You could end up here and have kind of a shot, but not a great one. So I think it's close. It depends on how you feel. But notice, I'm not putting the cue ball way over here. This is it's like 15 degrees at most. So I can really control the cue ball, get the cue ball to the rail here where I have no chance of hitting the 6. Only a little bit of spin is required. Just play speed to this rail. Even if my cue ball stops here, I'm all right. I think this is the better shot. Notice how it's floating into position. So even though I came a little bit too far, it's not like I'm begging it to slow down. It was slowing down. I'm floating into position. I like that. Now I can shoot the 3. It's very easy to hold the cue ball for the 5. Don't just bend down and shoot the 5. Yeah, no matter where the cue ball stops, you'll be able to deal with it. But you can't have that mindset because it makes you lazy 2 racks from now when you got to play something precise. So if you're making firm decisions on every shot, then you don't have to think about it when it's really important because you just do it all the time anyway. So don't just get down and shoot the 3. If I can hold it on this side of the 5, it's very simple to go to the rail and out for the 6. If I come to this side of the 5, it's very simple to go 1 rail, 2 rail, 6 in the side. If I get straight or close to straight, now I got to stroke the ball and do something funky. You can still get there no matter what. But because it's kind of a thin cut, and the cue ball's sliding up anyway, I'm going to go ahead and play for this angle. So that's from here to here. So I want to draw the ball. I don't want to slide it, because if you slide it, you can miss hit and end up behind the 9. But if you draw it, really hard to get behind that 9. See? No chance of getting behind the 9, and I have an angle to come easily around. I've talked about this shot because it's very critical playing straight pool. You shoot this shot. This is your K2. This is your key ball into the side, and you have a break ball here. So what do? You look at the shot line, or the shot line from the pocket to where it hits this rail. You look at the shot line from this ball to here. Get halfway in between. Side rail. Side rail, angle in, angle out, straight in on the 6 on the side. So you're not going to hit that mark perfectly all the time, but that's how you want to visualize where you want to go. You're here, halfway. That's what's in your mind when you're shooting the 5. You're thinking about the cue ball to here, to the rail, and off. So as long as you get to the rail with the speed to come off the rail, bing. Now, I wanted to hit here, and I came way too high. But because I had the speed right, I'm not up here or way down here. So this is an example of why making a firm plan is really necessary, because without a firm plan, I would have gone way out of control. So with a plan, I just went a little bit out of control. So I've got 2 options here. I already know what I'm going to do. You want to see if the 8 ball goes over there, but it doesn't. Obviously, if it does, you could just play the cue ball to here. You don't want to do anything finicky here. You might say, oh, I'm just tap it in or go to the rail and spin it back out. Now just play the cue ball where it goes naturally. So just let the cue ball go to the rail, right spin brings it over here. You're going to have a shot in the side of the corner. Don't try and get cute. Get the cue ball in the open. Get it over there. Don't leave yourself something dumb. Now, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? It's not really obvious. A lot of people are going to be tempted to roll this forward. I do it in straight pool all the time. Just hit it really, really soft and roll it forward, and you have an easy 9 back this way. But this is 9-ball. We tend to shoot more shots that are longer and shoot harder where we're stroking the ball a lot. And I don't like rolling a ball into the side pocket ever if I can avoid it. We have all got our horror stories of how that ball goes on offline. Now I have a slight angle. I have enough angle to just stun the cue ball over here, and then I'm straight in there. Way better choice for 9-ball. Notice I didn't have to blast it. It's just a very nice controlled stroke, but it's one I can deliver with authority instead of a timid, oh, let me not hit it too hard and try and roll it in. That's the way you want to play 9-ball. As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a pool player.